Yeah, as you mentioned right at the start, um,
Yeah.
you were saying that you found it hard with your vibes as you weren't feeling amazing. Um, I I haven't had a cold, which it kind of feels like, for maybe 3 years. And when I
Wow.
when I had it, like literally the day it started, all these you saw some of the pictures I was posting. There's all these rainbow clouds appeared in our skies. There's some official term for it. They're like these kind of, well, it's like an iridescent cloud. Um, and I was asking my guides, and they're like, they said keep looking at the clouds because you'll see some answers in there. So I was like looking at them, and I was even posting them and not really quite seeing it. And then I saw one of them where it looks like it like kind of fills the whole screen, and the top of it looks like a head that like with a face that looks a bit kind of like discombobulated. And then the body is going through this like just a pure rainbow. And I was like, that's exactly how I feel. I feel like my head is just mush, but my body has felt consistently high vibe, but just very, very drained. And a long story cut short is that it feels very much like a rainbow activation, which I have seen a lot in clients, but I've not really seen it in myself. And I know a few others have been going through it. It's like everyone's been sick at exactly the same time, and then healing in like in similar ways. And these rainbow clouds haven't just been in Scotland. I also heard they've been in well, seen some photos around Europe, and um, I don't I can't tie it all together, but it does feel like quite a few of us are going through some really big upgrades that are helping us get ready for next year.
Yes, and it sounds like it is a rainbow body of light activation, activating you to higher frequencies. When I was going through my first initial upgrades back in 2017, 2018, I saw rainbows all over the place and had a lot of trippy experiences like you're describing. And
Yeah,
definitely, yes, you're accessing higher dimensions too that most people don't even notice.
yeah, yeah. And the when I see usually I see clients have like like one or two chakras at a time go through a rainbow activation. And when they do, it's quite overwhelming because there's no one can tell you what it's going to be like at the other end. Like no one can tell you how transformational it will be. But for for those like maybe the last client I did, their crown chakra was going through a rainbow activation, and so for a little while they found it quite hard. They've been very used to, for many years, of being a really strong channeler. They could channel anything, and then they went through this upgrade, and during the upgrade it went quite quiet for them, and that unnerved them, and it was one reason they reached out to me. And
Wow.
then when I saw them and I saw their chakras, like, you do know you're going through a rainbow activation, like, congratulations, it's a huge transformation. um and we started to see how to describe it, they went from being able to be more kind of how we'd think about channeling in like a 3D environment where it's like, I could phone Katie can talk to me, and she changed to be able to do things like pretty much channel anything, like rocks and trees and people, but then also like any dimension of them, and then across space and time, and then to do many to be able to talk to people like multiple versions of them at the same time. And that was just at the start of the activation. I haven't caught up with her since, but yeah, it's like it's like when your brain can't immediately understand the breadth of the upgrade, your body often goes into this kind of like stasis mode. It's like, look, we're going to need like some serious energy and preparation to help the mind like cope with this
Yes.
after the
Yes.
upgrade. And so let's
Yes.
rest. Let's go into deep rest.
I've noticed that too. I'll have periods of time where my channel closes because it's like I need a rest and I need a time to integrate and to just take time out. But I'll try to fight it because I'm
Okay.
like, oh my gosh, like I'll feel like what's going on? But then I keep hearing it's a time of integration. You need to rest. It's a time of integration. You need to rest. And so I'm learning I have to listen to that because if I try to fight it, it's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so important. often our biggest advances are when we receive, right? Like I think both of us just described receiving. Like we weren't doing, like you were talking about seeing rainbows, like you're receiving those rainbows, you're receiving those gifts and
Yeah.
those vivid experiences. Like I think just before, no, just after my awakening, I saw like this very real, how to describe it, like fifth dimension for about, I'd say about 15 seconds. And I was just in my kitchen in my old house looking out the window, and the whole world changed to fifth dimension. Um, and
That's beautiful.
it was just an incredible experience. Like the bird, everything was still there. Like there was a beautiful like big cherry blossom tree in the garden. It began like kind of just like swaying and moving, and it was talking to the birds, and the birds were talking to it. And then there was this beautiful vibration just like flowing through the air. Like everything was talking to each other. Everything was like, this energy was just flowing freely between everything. And I was like looking around like, oh, the grass seems like pretty happy today. Oh, look at the tree. And it was so lucid. And what I was being shown was like, Jon, that's there. Like it's real. Like there's a fifth dimension and it's
Yeah.
absolutely real. And we're starting to like get more and more to receive more and more of those glimpses, right, into those realities. And it's, the fifth dimension isn't just like any dimension. It isn't just like one big level up. It can also form in bubbles. And I've seen some clients where they can actually form some of these bubbles. Like they have a superpower to like, sit in a space, maybe meditate for a few minutes, and then create this like fifth dimensional bubble around them, or sixth or seventh. And people can come in and out of that, or they can like share that with other people in that same space. It's not dissimilar to the work you and I do, right? But
Yeah.
we don't consciously think of that. We often think like we're bringing things in from other dimensions, but we're actually creating these dimensional spaces around us, which is a really liberating way for my little human mind to think about it.
That's amazing, though. That's a great means of energetic protection because, I think the hardest part on my journey is using spiritual discernment with people. I used to think everybody was a great person and everybody had good intentions, pure intentions, and I was naive for a very long time. And I had to learn the hard way. I have to be careful in this world. Have you had to learn lessons like that too? Like, have you had a hard time with that in your spiritual journey? Like any adversity or people of a lower vibration trying to interfere with what you're doing?
Yeah, I've had quite a spectrum of challenges. Some of the challenges I've excuse me, some of the challenges I've had include how to describe it, energy vampires, right? So a client or a friend who just wants to turn up and like, so especially when I was mainly focused on like negative entity clearing, they'd be like going out and like doing all kinds of dangerous spiritual work and then turn up to me and say, okay, clear me. And I'm like, that's okay, but you've got to take responsibility of your own energy. Like, I'm not like your astral bodyguard. And it took me quite a while to realize that, that it's really important for us to be clear about what our perfect clients are. And for me, a perfect client is just someone that's ready to do the work, like to do face their fears, do the practice. We're not all perfect. We don't all meditate every day. We sometimes slip into bad habits and we sometimes get triggered and all the human things. But if they're showing up, largely consistently and trying to do the work, I think that's like a good sign of a good client. I've also had people that, in this 3D world, like especially old friends who are like, insert a few swear words like, what happened to you, Jon? You stopped drinking. You don't seem to to want to socialize with us in the same way. And for some people, some of those people fell away. And for others, for some, I just blocked on social media. It's like, if you're just going to be rude to me, like, it doesn't matter if we've had like a long friendship or not. Like, this is me. It's always been me. And now I'm like, back to the way I was when I was like, probably up to about the age of 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah, like a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is the whole me. And if you can like me or not, it's your choice, but I don't need to put up with your negativity. And then on the more extreme end, I had like this summer, where I I ended up far too much in this kind of this world of like divine masculine, like creating and pushing out constantly, and in a world of, I felt like my biggest healing journey in this life so far has been this feeling of lack. And it is a darkness in me, right? It is like, it is when you feel like that, you lose gratitude, you can lose your way. And I lost my way in the summer, and I had to take a couple of months off and just focus on that healing. And it was a very deep, dark healing, but so powerful. Like, it brought me to like just the end of the summer, where now every day is a self-care day first. Every day is self-love first. And, you know, with some really simple rules, you can just make a massive, drastic decision. Just like you're saying about, you know, we talked about clients or with friends or, you know, others that maybe interfere. It's like, when you love yourself first, like, these things just happen by themselves. You're like, I can deal with you, because if I love myself, I won't allow you to treat me like that. And here's my
Wow.
boundary.
Okay. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. That was, yes. Oh my gosh. I needed to hear that. Yep. Okay. You just gave me an answer. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Instead of like blaming others, we need to take responsibility for what we're allowing. We teach people how to treat us, and we can make a conscious decision to block them or to say that, you know, enough's enough. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I also hear from a lot of clients that their clients, they often find it hard to know where to draw the line. And you know, you just have all these, you've already built like these amazing tools. Like, you can feel with your heart, you're super empathetic, you can feel these things. And then when someone's like, you know, someone's doing one thing but saying another, like, psychic friends are hard, like you and I, right? Because they're like, our relationships are not just this. We're not just like two humans. We're like, that's a small part of our interactions. Our interactions are galactic. And so when someone turns up and says, I'm your best, you know, friend and supporter, and blah, blah, and the energy is just all off and it feels wrong.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect to then, you know, give that to someone else and say, I'll just do that to someone else. I'll just turn up and like tell them that they're amazing and actually feel awful about them, because, you know, we, as we continue to develop ourselves, feel that even more. And I feel that it helps so much to see, when you see everything as energy first, and you realize all your interactions in your life are energy first. Everything, you know, just like I was thinking about you before our chat today, it's like, if I was thinking negative thoughts, I know that you would feel that. And you might feel a bit odd when you might feel a bit odd when you turned up, and you'd be like, well, he seems like a nice guy, but why does this feel weird? Like, I think it's so important to just what's the word? Validate those and say, I feel that, it's real for me. It doesn't matter like what someone says or does. These are superpowers that we're developing, and this whole universe is energy first.
It is. Wow, you're very gifted, Jon. You know, my mom has also talked a lot about your work. She loves your videos. She gets so excited. She's like, Jon is great. She said, Jon is expanding. He's growing by leaps and bounds. And she goes, he is wonderful.
Oh, that's so kind.
Yeah. And, you know, I want to tell you, you didn't even realize it, but when you made that song for me, I was in one of the darkest places I have been in a very, 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 very long time, if ever. So I just want to thank you. That was definitely divinely inspired, what you did for me. And I just want you to know how much it helped me and how much gratitude I have in my heart for you for doing that.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I just want to I want to receive that for a moment. It's a journey for me receiving. Thank you. I sometimes I sometimes underestimate the impact that I can have. Like, I guess it's common for all of us, especially as we develop gifts. Like, I forget that I can write a song and create and release a song in about, 20, 30 minutes. And sometimes, they take weeks, but it's not about the time it takes. It's often about the energy that you put in, the intention you set.
Oh,
And as
absolutely.
you're saying,
Yes.
the
Hmm.
divine timing, and I'm so touched that I could help you to. It is a true honor to be like that angel for you in that moment, and it's an honor to help you. So thank you for sharing
And
that.
it still helps me. Like I downloaded it to my phone as an MP3. So if I'm in the car and I'm having a day where I'm struggling, I'll put it on my car speakers while I'm driving and it helps to give me that boost again.
Oh, I love that. I do
But
love
it
that about
just,
music. It captures that moment for eternity.
yeah, right. Music is the divine language. You know, music
Mhm.
crosses time and space. It's quantum, it's a quantum language.
And I also just wanted to acknowledge that when you shared with me there that you're in a dark place, when I created that song, that's also a huge thing for us healing this planet, right? Is we need to share all those dark places. And I did a podcast of my deepest, darkest work in the summer of my own self work. After a friend said, you should share with the world like how dark that was for you. Um, and it really helped me like shine a light on. I know it's not just something that affects me. Like lack is like a global challenge, but it and sometimes it's easy to just invalidate those feelings and say, well, that's just me, and why would anyone else care about that? And surely they only want to see the happy sides of me. Um, but actually, I feel like it's so empowering when you share, and even if it's just one other person, it makes such a difference.
Well, I think that's so brave of you that you did share that publicly, what you went through. And I really want to watch that. Maybe you can send me the link to that video
Yeah,
so I can check it out. I did a couple of videos where I was vulnerable, and there was like one video I did, it's okay to not be okay, and another one where I did a grief video and I was like, talking about my uncle when he passed away last spring. But I think what you're saying is it's good to show up more real, more frequently than not, like to show people that human side.
yeah, and I think to really get to know you, like if we, our missions, our work, they are us. They are tightly coupled with us. And so one of the things I find it hardest when I'm working, like when I want to buy the service of someone, like a new friend, I'll be like, what am I missing? Like I know they're hiding something, but I don't know their darkness. If I knew their darkness, I'd just feel better. Even if they just mentioned it a couple of times, or if they just said, that's the thing for me, I'm like in hermit mode and I'm coming out of it, or whatever it was. And I feel like when we grow so much on the light side, it's so powerful as well to share that darkness, because it helps balance both of them. And I know this whole world would be helped, right? That if we all got up tomorrow morning, although it's Christmas Eve, and said, "Hey, here's my darkness. I just wanted to share that with you all." Um, we only have ourselves to judge ourselves, and um, it would just bring like an immediate balancing effect to this world. And yeah, we're leaders, right? It's up to us to lead by example.
I know that's beautiful. That really is. I really want to see your video so I can watch that. And I think that will help me
Hopefully, it's not too
to,
shocking, but yeah, it's powerful for sure.
yeah, like you basically like shared just dark stuff like depression or anxiety or like what aspects?
It was like yeah, it's all in the video, but it was like I describe it as my darkness taking over me so much that I saw myself energetically as like a thin layer of light wrapped around like this dark entity is what I'd become. And I didn't know it. It'd been building up for months before that. And so and I had like asked a couple of friends for advice about what I should do in this situation. And they said like they weren't allowed to help. And my guides were the same, like, John, you've got to do this yourself. And so I went through what was really like a self exorcism. But it wasn't external to me. Like it was my darkness that I took out of me, and that I had to face. Like I had to face it and love it, and embrace it, and heal that part of me. And yeah, uh, it was both galactic, and it was also uh, energetically like incredibly draining. But the growth has just been phenomenal. Like I'm just a different person since that experience, and I can see why my soul chose that journey.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And you're a father too. How many kids do you have again?
Yeah, two 17-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old son.
That is amazing. Do you think it helps to have children like on this journey? Does it help you to, I don't know, to be inspired to do this work more?
Yeah, um my wife and family we're very, very close. We spend most weekends together, which has been, harder as the kids get older to let them go and they both got jobs now, part-time jobs at weekends. And we love going camping together, and we have a holiday place down in the Scottish borders we go and visit.
Oh,
And my daughter was actually at my the Kundalini yoga session where I had my awakening.
wow, cool.
And my son suffered from night terrors for years and years. And I got a friend to do a reading, and she said, he's just like you, Jon. You need to start working with him. So we meditate. We meditate each night before bed. He can talk to his guides. He can talk to trees. He was like that. He was so fast. It's like, I have spirit guides. I talk to them. And they'll go and play his Xbox. Wow. It's just a thing for him. It's just like, yeah, it's just part of my reality. That's
amazing.
And I love being able to share just the full breadth of the sessions, even though my family aren't, they're not directly into everything that I do. They're just incredibly supportive. And whenever I talk about these very kind of, they sound so fantastical, right?
I love that word, fantastical.
Yeah. It's like, it makes Harry Potter look really like tame.
I love Harry Potter.
Yeah, me too. And we all, as a family, will love them as well. But I love being able to have people that aren't like totally in the kind of spiritual world, but love me for who I am, and will, listen to me and help me still be like in this 3D reality as well. Is like so important.
That really is, just to have people unconditionally love and support you and what you're doing. Yes. And just let you be who you are. Just let you be.
Yeah. I just finished my 200th collaboration a couple of days ago, and it's funny, like when you do so many, you forget, right? You just get lost in the infinite creativity. But yeah, I absolutely love it.
That's amazing. See, that's you helping others, and I've been guided to also do more collaborations too, because we're supposed to help each other. I mean,
yeah.
What I like to think of it is we're going from the competitive 3D paradigm to a more collaborative, cooperative 5D. It's like we all need to join forces and help each other.
Yeah, I love that. Like today, I've been trying to rest more and not work on my business plan for next year and all these things. Like I know I've got time for those, but instead I was guided to find some people. So I was searching for people that speak dragon-like language in Scotland. You would not believe how hard it is to find some of our tribes, right? And but they're there. Like if you actually intentionally search, and I felt like it was a mix of like intuitively, and then also like some Google searching, and then finding people's sites and linking through from them. And I love that kind of galactic detective work as well. It's super fun. And that's definitely like going to be my hobby over the next couple of weeks, and probably the year, is like seeking out these people, because we don't need to blame the algorithms. Like algorithms are not designed to bring starseeds together, right? It's all they're all about trying to make money on adverts and stuff. Whereas we genuinely want to connect with each other, and we can seek each other out both energetically and through any means we choose.
If you seek, you shall find. And it's funny you say dragon light language. Was that something you intuitively learned? Did you just intuitively learn it on your own, or did you learn it somewhere, or how did that work?
Yeah, um once I feel like when I first started to learn light language, it was more like soul language that I was speaking.
Hmm.
Um and uh after like, and it sounded like this, it sounded like it was, there was almost like a, I know sometimes it sounded quite Latin to me. Um and
Hmm.
then and then after I think I went through like quite a few client sessions of speaking like avian and mantis and arcturian, and I don't know, just like all these spectrums of light languages, um that it took maybe 2 years before I felt comfortable enough with what was coming through with dragon light language. I have
Wow.
a reptilian guide called Lucy, and she's just like super protective and super loving, and she's been a big help with me connecting. Like one of my soul origins has been like a kind of hybrid of a dragon and an angel, like eons and eons ago, and so it's that side of me that comes out in my dragon like language. But before that activated, I was seeing dragons in the sky for like about a year, and in my dreams I was like lucid dreams, like touching dragons and talking to them, these beautiful huge wise beings. I saw
Yeah.
yeah, I've had past lives and clients as dragons, and if there's a lot more for us to discover about them. um the and for me, the dragon is like this beautiful loving roar energy, and I love like expressing it because it's so clearing, and especially when you're used to being very calm in a meditation, then it's suddenly like roaring. Like, I know I also love heavy metal music, but it's, you know, I love that energy. For the unicorn, I had a client session recently that we it was so beautiful, and she's from Scotland. um we saw across all the highlands, in her session, we saw across all the highlands there are these uh unicorns, and the unicorns were on the top of each hill and on the
Okay.
top of each mountain, and they were singing through their horns. So the horns were resonant, like kind of beacons, and they were vibrating, and their song was quite high pitch, but it was like a really high vibration, and it was holding the dimension, like it was holding the frequency of the dimensional space. And it was like it, how to describe it, like it held, it's almost like it held the air and held the, like the rainbow, like held the rainbow in the air, and
Wow.
allowed this transmission of energies to float through it. You know, like you see like the Tesla always like sending electricity across um the world. It was like that, but often we think of the energetic grid being underground in Earth, and it was more like they were supporting this grid over the top of the Earth where we could freely express and share with each other. Um, so yeah, I felt guided to share that with you. It's like there's definitely like a connection um, in those realms, the dragon and unicorn realms. And you just described like so many people around the world, right? Like, and every person that takes that little step forwards, and we don't all need to have the same, you know, aspirations or intentions, but to yeah, to help people have that reflection in themselves and see, actually, look what you can do. Like, you know,
Yep.
see how we feel when we witness your unique abilities. Like everyone has these beautiful abilities that we spend a lot of the time trying to be like others, and actually our unique abilities are just these superpowers waiting to shine and change this world.
Yeah.
I've always got something to work on. So yeah, that
Me
would be
too.
fantastic.
Every day.
Yeah, it never stops, right?
But that's good though that you're humble enough to see that, because
Yeah,
there are some people in the spiritual community that think they have it all figured out, that there's no more to learn, and ego can get in the way. And I've had to learn the hard way that there's a lot of power in vulnerability, humility, and remaining teachable every single day.
yeah, absolutely. That was my biggest, well, one of my big lessons this year as well. Yeah, thank you for that. Like, if we keep humble and grateful, it's amazing how other things fall into place.
I know, seriously, it's wonderful.
There's so many of us hiding in plain sight, right? We're like, where I'm close to the thing I should be doing, but I'm not actually doing the thing I love. It's like we'll find each other and we'll help each other, like, come into our heart's alignment.
I love that. Yes. Beautiful. So what are you doing this evening?
That's it for me. I'll be not that far off bed. I tend to get up at 5 a.m., go for a run, do some yoga, meditation, channel in a song, record the song, and then do like tomorrow I have on Christmas Eve I have a client mentoring session. I've just started a 3-month mentoring program with them.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's so exciting. You know what it's like? You get like in this lifetime, everything's so fast. It's like, do it once, now teach it. And you're like, but universe, I'm like, I'm just learning. It's like, it doesn't matter. You're still way ahead of others. So you have to learn to teach. And I'm like, okay. But we are divinely guided, right? So we just get, if you ask for help, you'll get it. And often our angels turn up in unexpected ways, not just direct, channeled communications with our guides or angels. They'll step in incredible places. And I feel like with the spiritual mentoring side, one thing I love about mentoring is that it teaches you so much about yourself. And I said that when I did the kickoff session. It was like, it's a big commitment for both of us, but also, I'm going to learn on the journey, and I'll share with you what I learn on it as well. And I'll likely learn a lot about myself as much as you learn about yourself. Yeah, it's been really powerful so far, and I'm excited. I've got 2 others that I'm just getting started on as well. So I've done it for years, decades in my software engineering career, and then now in the spiritual side, I've been doing it ad hoc for years, where people kind of come and go. But it never really occurred to me that I could do this, with a concentrated intention and really help people, step into all their gifts and face all those shadows that they need to work through to, be balanced and do whatever it is they want to do in their mission in this lifetime.
Well, I think it's amazing what you're doing, and that's quite the transition, going from software engineer to the type of work you're doing. It's quite the polarity, and I think it's fascinating. I really do. And wonderful. And you're helping people step into their purpose and finding what they came here to do. And you found a full-time purpose doing what you love and helping others and serving others. And that's just awesome.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, you seriously are amazing. Be sure to fill up your cup too, though, and keep nurturing yourself and taking care of you too.
Yeah, definitely. As I wrote my goal for, excuse me, as I wrote my goal for the end of next year, the very next sentence is about my self-love comes first, and every day is a self-care day. And I will, whatever I do in my work, always have like my self-care and a work-life balance that works for me. It's sustainable, and I have like all the time I need with my family, and it's flexible for all the things I need. It's funny writing it down because I look at it most days and I go in and tweak it. I'm like, and it's usually I'm adding more. It's like, yeah. Oh, and I also want to go like on a 3-month trip next year to Europe. So like I just add that in, and it's a really lovely way of doing it, because you just feel like you're reflecting constantly on what you really want. And it doesn't really matter how. Like some of it seems so unimaginably how, but if you don't write down the what you want or set the intention, like you'll just get caught up in the how, and all other random things happen, right? Because the universe is like, I don't know what to give you. You're not being clear. And I'm like, I want that thing, and I'm writing it down every day, and I'm staring at it every day, and I'm telling you, just look at that.
I need to get back to doing that. I used to be very good about that. I need to get back on track and do some more writing. Yep. Especially with this new year right around the corner. Thank you for that reminder.
No problem at all.
I needed that badly. Yes. This is good. Wow. You definitely are my soul brother. I definitely feel that. in the same star family for sure.
Yeah, if you want to hear about the sad things about numbers, it's like, you know, my channel's existed for 14 years. I've had it like focused on it for almost 7 years. And those numbers are just so hard to like drive up. And I know for a fact that it's like there's like this kind of shadow banning effect.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
But I have I've gained so much well beyond the numbers. And I know that the numbers are very interesting because my guides keep like for the last 6 months, they just keep showing me the same image. They say, John, you're preparing your ship and your ship's about to set sail. Like, why would you want to rush it? Those seas are stormy out there. If you go like half set, you're gonna really struggle. And now that I see the journey I've been on this year, I feel like, wow, I'm so glad that I at least paid some attention to that. And then the other side of it is that this is happening to so many of us, right? It's like, you know, we're constantly being told by this matrix environment, you are irrelevant. It's like the message we're being told. And yet
I know.
Yet what we've come to learn is that actually every single person is equal. Every single one of us, even the people that we put on a pedestal, and that the algorithms are becoming increasingly lost in this world where we will more intuitively and empathetically and psychically connect with each other, and we won't really need these ways of relying on machines to connect us, and doom scrolling. We will find each other, and we will ask to find each other. We'll ask like, I want, don't show me all these ads and everything. Show me the people that are going to help me the most and that I can help the most, or whatever intention you set, and that's what will come through. And yeah, I feel I totally hold space for that feeling. You know, that was one of the feelings I brought into my summer of doom and my lack mentality, right? And then it's so hard when someone looks at you and feels that when they see your content, because when you feel like that, you create content like that. It's full of lack. And when they look at you and go, but like they're amazing and they feel like they're not good enough. Oh no, if they're up there, I must be down here. And it's like it perpetuates, right? And vice versa is true. And I often love connecting with people that have very small followings, because I feel so connected to them intimately, and I know that I've got like a little bit of a chance of maybe they'll respond to a comment, or maybe I could help them, like I had in those moments when, you know, I must have 100, 200, maybe 300 plus songs that maybe some people have either never seen or never commented on or never liked. And I know YouTube keeps on removing likes, and they have like admitted some of it, but they've like, some of my videos have gone way down in their likes from years ago. Because I think if I'd had those back then, like one or two in like, 6 years of a video, you're like, is it really that bad? But the reality is, no, those numbers aren't really relevant, and that it's so important for us to be able to expand beyond that. It's hard, but it's real.
You're right. Who's meant to find it will find it, and it's quality over quantity, and the rewards that we get just by putting our content out there is just more than anything. Yeah. And focusing on what's important. But yeah, I think the more that we all join forces and help one another, we can all help each other grow and beat this algorithm.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder in this next year what opportunities there'll be to help people connect, and it might be like kind of almost like a pay for it forwards, like like way of doing it, where maybe find someone, just do a session for them, or do your superpower for them, and in exchange for them, then just it doesn't matter if they have 0 followers, like do it because they're like a human, and that you can share it with them, and that's one more person than you had before you met them. And vice versa, share their work, let them do something for you. I just trying to think of how we'd like the world to be, without centralized or centrally governed algorithms, no matter how intelligent or or positive they become. I know we can do a lot better.
Absolutely. Yeah, all that resonates so much. And thank you. I just got chills.
Archangel Michael's so funny. He's just like, I don't know, if I don't know what to do with it, I give it to him. But I've been doing this more often. And he just said at the end, he just said, Okali dokali to me, is like passing this ball. But yeah, it's like any of that residue energy that, we don't have an intention for, whether it's dark or light, wrapping it up, it just seems really helpful.
You are amazing, Jon. Thank you for connecting today. I'm so grateful that we got to connect. And I hope that you and your wife and your children, your kids, have I know they're not children, they're teenagers, but you know what I mean. I hope you all have an amazing Christmas, and may you be blessed abundantly, and we'll stay in touch, and there's more to come. I'm excited.
Well, thank you so much. And you too, to you and your loved ones, have an amazing time. And thank you so much for this gift. The best Christmas gift.
Oh, you're welcome. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Okay, I'll see you, Jon.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay. You too.
Bye.